Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Spark project on a local machine. We are gonna use Scala IDE in order to write our code, and in this tutorial we are going to code a word count, that is the hello world in big data. We are going to use Maven in order to pull Spark and all of its dependencies. And finally, I'm going to show you how to create a repository on GitHub, and I will push all of the code that I will write in this tutorial to this GitHub repository so you can copy paste it. The first thing you have to do is to download Scala IDE and to install it. I'm not going to show you this because it is platform dependent and it is very simple, so you can just click here and follow the instruction. But once you're done with that, you're gonna open Scala IDE, that is an Eclipse plugin, as you can see, and we are gonna create a new Maven project. So new project, and we are gonna select Maven project. I like to select this create simple project option, so I have a lighter POM file, and we are gonna choose some kind of group ID org.test, and as artifact ID I'm gonna choose Spark maybe, and we click on finish. So now that we created our Maven project, we can set up the POM file. What I do is to take an old project and copy configurations from that. And I'm gonna do it now as well, but don't worry, because I'm going to push this POM that I'm going to create now to a GitHub repository, so you will be able to copy this stuff as well from there. So I'm gonna copy all of it, and then I will remove things that we don't need. So for this project, I'm going to keep only the Spark core dependencies, and the rest of the configurations are basically for Maven Scala compiling, and to make a fat jar that it makes deployment simpler. Okay, when you are done with copy pasting, you can save this POM, and you are gonna have an error, but this is nothing too difficult to fix. We can just use the Eclipse quick fix. So this is an update project configuration fix, and you should not see any other error after you are done with that. So next thing we want to do is to add a Scala nature to this project. So this is under configure submenu, and you're gonna have some errors because Spark core uses Scala 2.10, but Scala IDE as default use Scala 2.11. So we are gonna go on properties, and we select Scala compiler, and we select use project settings, and we are gonna use fixed Scala installation 2.10.4, and we are gonna apply it. And we let Eclipse clean the project as well. After you have done this, you should not see any kind of error. So what we are going to do next is to remove the Scala library container from the build path, because this is pulled by Spark core package as a dependency. So we are gonna go to build path, configure build path, and we are gonna select Scala library container, on libraries, and we are going to remove it. Okay, no errors. Good. So what we need to do now is to change this source folder from Java to Scala. So we are gonna go to refactor submenu, and we are gonna rename them from Java to Scala. And we are gonna do the same here for the test source folder. Okay, so we are done with the configuration, and we can create a new package. So new package, and the package name should have the same name as your group ID and artifact ID. So here we choose org.test as group ID. So we are gonna write org.test, and we choose Spark as our artifact ID. So we are gonna write .spark, and we click on finish. Now I'm going to write a very simple Scala class in order to test our installation, and we are gonna write a word count. So new Scala object, and we create our word count class. Okay, we want to create a main function. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is to initialize the Spark context. So we create a Spark configuration object. And we are gonna specify, okay, we are gonna specify an application name. Let's say word count. And we're gonna specify a Spark master. and we want to run on local. So we will specify local. Then we can create our Spark context. And we pass our configuration to the constructor. Okay, so let's create a text file in order to have some words to count. File name, let's see, food.txt, and we're gonna write pasta, pizza, panini, panini again, maybe pizza again, a lot of pizza. And this is our test file. Okay, so what we want to do is to load this text file. So we are going to create a new RDD from our food text file. Here we go. And then we are going to apply our transformations to this RDD in order to count the words in it. So test dot flat map, and for each line we are going to split it. So we get an RDD of words instead of an RDD of lines. The next thing we want to do is to set each word as key, and we are gonna set 1 as value. So we are gonna apply another map. Word will be the key of our pair, and 1 will be the value. And finally we want to reduce by key. Okay, after we applied our transformations, we can save as text file. Let's see if food dot count dot txt. Okay, and we are done with our example. So we can try to run it, and hopefully it will work. Run as Scala application. So it is starting Spark and is running the transformation, and it's done. So we are going to refresh our workspace now, and as you can see we have an output directory, and when there is this success file, it means that there were any error, and you can open the part files in order to see the results. So in our test we wrote pizza 3 times, pasta 2 times, and panini 2 times. So now I'm going to show you how to create a new GitHub repository, and I'm going to push this project to that repository, so you will be able to copy paste either this code from that repository or the configuration. So we are gonna go to GitHub. I already have a profile, but you can create a new one following the instruction on the website if you don't have one. So let's create a new repository. Repository name, let's say Spark tutorial. And that's it, create repository. Okay, as you can see, I'm going to take this URL or URI, and I'm gonna use SSH, and if you want to do the same, you have to set up your GitHub account with your SSH public key. You can Google for it, it's very simple. So we're gonna go on team, and we are going to select share project. We're gonna select Git, and first of all we need to create a local repository. So let's say Spark tutorial. It's good practice to use the same name you used on GitHub. Okay. And then we are gonna click on finish. Okay, once we created our local repository, okay, maybe I will delete this output from the example. All right, we are gonna do our first commit. So team commit, and you're gonna have to choose some kind of username and email, whatever you want. You're gonna select all of the files, and your comment will be first commit. So we're gonna click on commit and push, and now we have to specify this GitHub URI, and since I had it in my clipboard, Eclipse was very smart. He copied it on the URI field, and we are gonna select SSH and we are gonna click on next. So we are gonna select the master branch and add the specification, and we are gonna click on finish. And this worked, and because I set up my SSH key previously, and you will have to do the same, otherwise you will get an authentication error. But that's it for this video tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's gonna be useful for you. So good luck with Spark. Bye.